Hi, have you ever experienced the thrills and the excitement of skydiving? For those of you that have been skydiving before, know exactly what I'm talking about, or if you're a licensed skydiver such as myself, you know the experience all too well. But for those of you that have never been skydiving, don't worry, I'll show you what it's like to be a skydiver. Here is a good picture. Basically, most individuals know the concept of skydiving and what skydivers do, and that's simply put on a packed parachute, climb aboard an aircraft, climb to a certain altitude, and then jump out. But rest assured you that there's a lot more complex things going on for skydiving. Here's an image of myself being at a local drop zone in South Carolina, and this is where I first learned how to skydive and I got licensed. A drop zone, or DZ for short, is where skydivers normally go and hang out, store their gear, and just rehearse to find out exactly what they're going to do for skydiving. In this image, you have several skydivers here prepping their own gear, packing their own parachutes, and as you can see in the image, some skydivers already have their parachutes packed and they're ready, and they're just waiting for the manifest to call them up so they can gear up and get ready to go on a skydive. Here is pretty much the essential skydiving gear that you must have in order to skydive and have a safe skydive at that. To your far left is a skydiving rig. You have your skydiving helmet, and last but not least, you have your audible and digital altimeters that tell you your altitude. Here's a picture of me and fellow skydivers, and we're rehearsing what they call a dirt dive. Dirt dive is basically what you do when you practice and you rehearse your drills and you rehearse your formations that you plan on executing successfully once you climb on the aircraft and you get inside and you do your jump. Here, we're all geared up. Skydivers are excited and ready to make the jump. But we're going over our final rehearsal, going over the exit order, and really rehearsing just to make sure that everyone fully understands the jump on what we plan on executing. Whether you executed it properly or not, you're still having fun in your skydiving. Now for the fun part. The plane has landed and manifest has called the skydivers to get ready to load up and climb up on the aircraft. So normally this is where skydivers start filing up in a single file line and get ready to board the aircraft so they could taxi off, climb the altitude, and do what skydivers love best. This is a great image. This is an image where the skydivers are already en route and they're enjoying the ride up. The doors open, you feel that nice cool breeze, and everyone's just laughing and joking and hanging out, just getting ready to have what they call a successful jump. Whether the jump goes well or not, you're still having fun. My favorite part of the jump: green light, go. The doors open and you make your initial jump. For me, this is the most exhilarating part of skydiving because you're actually jumping out of a moving aircraft. But this is really fun, and this is what they call the initial jump. This is a discipline called belly flying. Belly flying is the only discipline right now that I've had a lot of experience and a lot of practice and training with. Belly formations is pretty much you're just falling belly down, and your average speed is around 120 miles an hour. This is the most common practice for skydivers. Now in this picture here is dictated as a sit fly position. Sit fly is basically pretty much what the picture is showing. Someone looks like they're sitting in an invisible chair. This is another discipline. It's called free flying, and in this position you normally generate speeds around 160 to around 180. And last but not least is the most difficult position out of all, and this is called the head down position. When you're actually in this position, you're averaging speeds anywhere from up to 180 to 200 miles an hour. The skydive is a very, very short skydive when you're falling down at that particular rate of speed. This image here is skydivers just having fun, and this is considered the fun jump. Basically, you have an inflatable raft. You pick the two lightest skydivers, and most of the males grab a corner of the inflatable raft and you all jump out and you just try to maintain and stay inside the raft. Now most skydivers enjoy doing this part right here, and this is called the tracking position. Most individuals wonder, well, how do skydivers separate and get space so they won't hit one another? And this is what this is called. This is tracking. Tracking is used to get distance away from other skydivers so that you won't have an accident. Now this picture here pretty much shows a skydive traffic jam. Once it's all said and done and all the skydivers up under their canopy, it is very important and very vital that you pay attention to your surroundings, because the last thing you want to do is collide with another skydiver and end up having a bad accident. Once you're up under the canopy, which as you see here, and I'm up under mine, the skydive is not yet over. You still have to actually come down and touch down successfully and safe without having any injuries. So this is still a very, very vital and important part of being up under the canopy. This is the landing pattern. Most individuals don't really know what this is, but I'll explain this really fast. When you get ready to land, you're going to do 3 legs. You're going to go your downwind, crosswind, and then you're going to do your final approach at 300 feet, and you're going to be landing into the wind. So that's normally a left hand box pattern. Now for this picture here, once you've actually got to around 300 feet, and as you start to decline and you get to around 16, maybe 18 feet, you start flaring your parachute, and then you go into 2 stages of flaring your parachute, and then you come down to a soft, successful landing, such as this picture. And then when it's all said and done, the celebration. The jump's over, everyone's had fun. Hopefully you've landed down safe without causing any harm to yourself or having to do a drastic cutaway. And you sit back and you hang out and you go back, you pack your parachute, and you get ready to do another jump. So hopefully everyone enjoyed that.